what I was saying about dishonesty. Um, okay, so to make a long story short, there was the driver that was on the little free shuttle that goes around downtown. One day, a bunch of people got on that, like I said, they have little government programs and things that, like the Obama phones and the voting polls and getting taking surveys, all these little things, these governmental type things where they hire, like homeless people, people in transition, people that are in and out of work, that type of thing. And they hire these people because they will do just about anything because they feel a sense of pride in the fact that, oh, they have a job. Doesn't matter what the job entails, they have a job because they've had it so hard that the fact that they have a job is just such a big deal. So, anyways, I was on the little free thing, and the guys got on, a couple guys and a woman, and they were just like, I forgot what the question they asked, but it got to, ma'am, are you homeless? And I was like, sir, that's a personal question. That's not something that I would even respond to. And he was like, well, no, you can tell me, are you homeless? And I'm thinking, sir, that's really a private question. That's not something to be shared in a public place. And he's like, but we're trying to help you. And I'm just like, no, sir. And I was like, no, sir, that's not a help. You're putting people's personal information out on the street. If I was homeless or I was not, I would not share that with you in a public place. And I think it's irresponsible that you would do that. That's personal, private information. And what you're doing is not helping people that are homeless. You're hurting them because you're putting in a situation where they're advertising their personal information and business. And if they were up in a situation where they could better help themselves because of the stigma that's associated with it, and now everybody knows for good, bad, or worse, without actually helping anything, you've put them at risk, especially for a female, And I'm going to tell y'all, and the bus driver was listening, and he was like, oh, I liked how you handled that. And then he started assuming, because of the way that I was conversing with him, oh, she's not homeless, she must live in the high rises downtown. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm just like I didn't confirm or deny homelessness with on a public bus where people have access to you. I wasn't confirming or denying that, which of course and I guess I won't confirm or deny it here because it's obvious. Y'all, if y'all watch, y'all know what my situation is. But yeah, so he just assumed that I lived in the high rises downtown, and I didn't confirm or deny it. I hadn't planned on saying anything else to that man. But then he took it upon himself every time that I got on the bus to say, yeah, to brag about it, And I'm just like, okay. So now I feel, in hindsight, because now, I had a situation, a place that I was saying, now that I'm not at that particular place, two and two put together, you see. And then one time he saw me, he was like, oh, I thought you were kind of ducking, dodging me because I haven't seen you lately. It's not ducking and dodging. It's I'm no longer at the spot that I was at. You know what I'm saying? And so then, he saw that, and I tried to tell him and educate, because that bus driver was just so full of assumptions himself that you can't assume. You have to ask questions, and a person will choose to tell you or not to tell you. Then you have to use your discerning spirit as to whether this person is telling me. For me, I'm not going to lie. I'm just not going to tell, I'll tell you, look, I feel that's personal. I'm not sharing that. But he didn't even ask me. He just assumed that that's what it was. Or maybe because he didn't want to assume the worst. And sometimes people are that way because, again, like I said, there's a lot of people in this world that are single. There are some people that are lonely. Some people that are not lonely, but they're single, but they want to feel like they're the man or the woman, and so, they want to feel like they have the opportunity to talk to somebody that might be going somewhere, but I tell the truth about my life. But in a public situation, I'm not going to disclose, like, I'm a private person in public places, in public and private places, and this channel hasn't picked up many viewers yet because I just opened it, but as you become more, as your private place, which YouTube kind of sort of was in a way, because I really didn't have that many viewers, and I really don't have that many here, but they may pick up. Who knows? This is for the select few, those people that have the patience and intelligence to sit down and say, well, hey, let me check this out. And I do the same thing. I feel honored and privileged when I come across someone's personal blog that actually shows them talking about their real experiences and their real feelings. But it's hard to find, because most of the ones that you're going to come across are those that are commercialized, those that everybody's clean cut, and they get dressed up for their little YouTube show. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare that you see someone that's just, this is what it is. And that's what I want to see. There was one a while back, I think his name was like Demcad, Demcad, that I came across by mistake. And I don't know. I mean, I would like to come across more of those. And then when you do find some of them, after a while, other people find them too and commercialize them. So they're no longer just them being them and expressing their feelings. Again, they're targeting, a certain audience, as opposed to just being you. So, why was I saying all that? I don't remember. Oh yeah, honesty, dishonesty. So what ended up happening, even though I wasn't dishonest, and I told that man, do not make assumptions, because you're on the same level as them, because they're making assumptions. He continued to make assumptions, and he continued to try to get me to feed into it, but I never did. And he probably went and talked to his friends about it. Like, oh, she lives in those high rises. No, I don't. I do not. I do not. Do not at all. And the other end of that situation is not for discussion for my safety reasons. You know what I'm saying? But he continued to do that. You can't make people into what you want them to be. Like for me, I understand that I have that fallacy too, where I might see somebody and I would like for them to be nice, sweet, innocent, like the girl that lived there. I was like, oh, I thought she was just so cute, so sweet. I thought she was a college student. No, it's not at all. There's things that we want to believe about people and what really is true. You don't never know what people's situation is, and people are who they are for a reason. So if you meet ratchet, mean, nasty, evil people, they've probably been through some ratchet, mean, nasty, evil stuff. And if you don't want to become those kind of people, you gotta separate yourself, or try to find people that are like you. And sometimes it's gonna be rare, because if you have been by yourself for so long, the rest of the world has socialized to the point where they've all come to that gray area in the middle where everybody practically lives, where they're not really fully themselves. They're all part of one big ocean of sameness. You know what I'm saying? A similarity. Nobody thinks for themselves anymore. And yeah. It's just it shocks me so much. Like right now I'm standing at the bus stop and I'm waiting for the bus and I'm vlogging and I'm circling around this thing. I have earphones in my ear, which may appear like I'm talking on the phone to somebody that can see the earphones. But this guy drove past and he gave me like the craziest look, like he thought that I was nuts. I'm waiting for the bus, I'm killing time, I'm vlogging, that's what I'm doing. So if you see anybody holding up a camera and talking to the camera with their earphones on, either they're Skyping, I'm not Skyping because I'm to myself, I'm vlogging, people are vlogging. So please know that, and mind your business, just get to where you're going, you know what I mean? And then again, I'm not as attractive as I used to be, before people would look, because they was like, oh, she looks different. But I'm not as different as I think I am anymore, because my hair now is messed up, so I look like a regular black people. Sorry if I offended anybody, but I think that was the intention of the person that messed it up. And, it is what it is. So hopefully this bus will be coming soon, because I'm getting kind of dizzy. But yeah, so I felt like I was being dishonest. So the question to myself is, was I dishonest? No, because I told that person. He just chose not to listen, and he chose to keep harassing me until he got me to address something that, I was none of his business. And that's how it goes a lot of times. So no, I wasn't dishonest, but I felt dishonest because I could tell that he really, truly believed something else, and that's what he wanted. And that he may have shared that. And he was very disappointed when he saw that, in the middle of the day, that I am wearing like tights and street clothes and stuff like that. And that also, me being out at different hours and catching the bus late at night away from the downtown area. So, I mean, you label people and have beliefs about people and expect them to be true. What you believe is true about a person and who they actually are two different things. So you have to take this time to, if you're interested, take the time to ask. And if you don't want to ask, then let that person be who they are. Don't make assumptions, because a lot of times you're going to be wrong. And I know, because I was wrong. And I was wrong to my detriment. You can put yourself in a situation where you're trusting people that don't deserve it, or you can put yourself in a situation where you're berating, belittling, and harming people that don't deserve it. So take people as they are.